Good morning, folks. Welcome to the last episode of Season 2 of the Duck Chronicles. I know that we were not quite as prolific in our Duck Chronicle episodes this year. I actually think I have one that we never published that I'll publish as a bonus episode later this week from earlier in the year. But, business on the duck farm is pretty much the same old day after day. And unless you have a lot of rain like we do today. So I thought this would be a good finale for Season 2. Notice I'm saying finale for Season 2, not finale for the Duck Chronicles. Let me tell you what's going on today. We'll take a look at some things. And it's winter in Texas, which means it'll be summer next week and winter again the following week and spring after that and then winter again. And eventually we'll get to spring. But right now you can see the trees are bare. At least all of the deciduous trees, except for some of the really tough ones, have lost their leaves. Everything's muddy. Things are beginning to green up between the hard freezes. We're getting 2 to 3 day long hard freezes and then decent weather and then kind of cold, dank weather and then lots of rain. And what do we do with rain around here? Well, everybody else's rain goes washing down the road, down the ditch and out to the lake and down the river and to the sea. And our water goes in swales and it infiltrates. And our ducks swim around in there and they poop. And all of these trees planted in here, a couple hundred fruit trees planted in this 3/4 acre plot. I'm not worried about fertilizing them because they're fertilizing them enough for half the year just today. They're hanging out in these swales, they're hanging out in the bottom swale, and yesterday I had them in the back paddock and they fertilized that swale. I think we're going to get more rain this week. These swales will fill up again and we'll keep the fertility going. You can see everybody's kind of spread out. This is a good day to be a duck. You know, we don't have any real ponds that they're allowed in anyway here on this property, so they get their little lazy river canal. They get to swim in there. And one of the interesting things you can see here is right here, this swale stops being a swale and starts being what you would call a diversion drain. And the reason for that is we were able to get a good 12 inches of depth on our swales. That entire swale, the back entire swale, and this entire swale to about right there, where this underground formation starts to pinch up. And you can really see, I mean, it looks like an old sidewalk or something. When I talk about rock, guys, this is what's under my property. It's not rocks, it's slab. And when we hit here, we just had that little excavator just scraping. So you can see this is actually not as deep. So what happens is all the water that ends up in this part of the swale first moves down there, and you can see where it holds level from that point forward. And when it fills up enough, that sill begins to overflow, but this also pushes back up to here, and this end will actually overflow on a heavy rain, which we just had. You can actually see where a lot of mulch that had fallen down into this ditch has been pushed out, but nice soft flow, so it all just kind of stopped right there in the grass. Another thing we got going, I got my intern, I guess he's not an intern, farmhand, and he is mulching the entire fence line. You can see we started down there, and it's a pretty deep mulch. This is prepping the ground. We're going to be putting all fruit trees around this irrigation system. Probably next month we'll start planting trees. I really am thinking about, it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm thinking about moving all of the irrigation. My original plan was 2 layers of trees, but if I go half pattern, they'll spray almost a full 10 feet out, splicing in a piece of pipe and pushing them all up against the fence so that we can actually run the tractor up against the fence. It'll be a lot easier to maintain the fence lines. This has been kind of a problem, so that'll probably start happening soon too. I have to get that young man trained up in the world of PVC pipe. But everything else is just cool. Everybody's happy. So what is up with the finale of Season 2 and where do we go from here? Well, I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of aquaponics intermingled with the ducks in Season 3. A lot. Some really cool new projects as we focus more on things that you guys in urban markets can do for yourself. We're basically at a point now where we feel that our main systems are in place. We'll continue to add irrigation systems. There's Fox hanging out with us today. Hey, Fox. To support trees as we expand our perennial production. But our annual production and our aquaponics, everything, we're going to do more sort of on an urban scale. Probably a little larger than a lot of people would, but anything we do, you guys on smaller properties will be able to emulate. We'll be talking a lot about expanding what we're doing with the quail and creating a lot of function stacking in there. But the big news, we can't have Duck Chronicles without new ducks. Well, from culling, from a few lost to injury and disease, and from a fox, not that one, we have had our population cut a bit. So it's time to reinvigorate the population of the ducks. How are we going to do that? And there's the geese. That'll be a big part of season 3 while I'm at it. Those 4 girls will lay probably 45 to 60 eggs each. I don't know that we're going to let them hatch out any goslings. I don't know that we need more geese, but yeah, we'll see. We might pull, once everybody's into main egg production, pull aside a couple dozen. That's about what will fit in my incubator. And if one of them goes broody, we'll incubate until a couple days before hatch and give them the eggs back. Geese have proven unreliable brooders to me, but if they hatch the eggs, then they're on, man. It's mama time. So if we do that, that's how we'll do it. But there'll be a lot of interesting play between the geese and the ducks, and we'll probably have to create housing for the geese during their nesting because they can get really violent with ducks, and a goose can kill a duck. We've seen it happen. But the big news is the new ducks. How many new ducks? 105 new ducks. They will be shipping on February 6th. That means that we'll probably be doing Season 3, Episode 1 on February 8th. That's when they should get to the post office. I'm hoping they do. When it goes the 3rd day, you always have losses. I really hate it when that happens. I wish the post office would allow overnight shipping on poultry. I would certainly pay for it, but the only option is U.S. priority mail for live animals. And that's what they do. And 2 days, you're in good shape. Right, Fox? Can't ship you for 2 days. But 105 are coming. 50 golden 300s. Let's see if we, for new people, find some golden. All those brown ones right there, those light tans, those are golden 300. So 50 more of those are coming. Those are our big-time layers. Those are the white guys. The white guys are 300-layer whites. But my pretty girls, you are fixing to not be the minority anymore. These are my Welsh Harlequins there in the distance as they... Don't run away, girls. I've been taking care of you since you were 2 days out of an egg. We're getting 50 of those. 50 Welsh Harlequins. They are just a beautiful duck, highly desirable, and you can't get them. You can't find them around here for nothing. So they also tend to go broody once in a while. So I also ordered 5 Drake Welsh Harlequins. And except for the lucky Drakes, our Rowans, we'll be culling out almost every other drake we have. We don't have that many left as it is. We're feeding them and they're not producing. But what we'll do every year, and so that'll be next spring, that'll be Season 4, we'll be actually isolating some of our prettiest Welsh Harlequin girls with a few Welsh Harlequin Drakes for maybe a week or 2, collecting their eggs and incubating and going into the Welsh Harlequin business segment. Selling those ducks locally. They should sell at a real premium because, again, you can't get them anywhere. And they're beautiful, and they have a laying rate that's comparable to Khaki Campbell's because they come out of Khaki Campbell stock. This will be our end to Season 2 right here. Mr. Mutant, say hello. That's Silver Muscovy. He's just a massive duck. He's not even done growing yet. You see he's kind of long-shaped. He was hatched by one of the Muscovy mamas. He is what you call a mullard. He is half Muscovy and half something else, one of the mallard origin ducks. And I would guess that his mom was the Muscovy, and she was crossbred by probably one of the Rowans. That would be my best guess because I've seen them the most successful at breeding the Muscovy females. But you can see his size. He's still adolescent. He's about 6 months old. And look at, that could be his mom. I'm not sure which one is because they look very similar to each other. But he is just massive, and we've noticed that whenever they crossbreed, they're not as bulky as the Drakes, like there's Arnold and Hans over there. What they are is they're extremely long-bodied. If you look at the keel on him, he's very, very long-bodied. And so he's not much use to us either. He's sterile. He can't reproduce, and he can't make any eggs, so he'll probably end up maybe on the Easter dinner table. But until then, he'll have a happy duck life. And maybe we'll just keep him around to see what happens when you let them really get big, because I'm interested to see where that goes. He's a pretty big duck already. Anyway, guys, the end. Season 2 of the Duck Chronicles, and I'll see if I can find that bonus episode if it's still on my phone. I'm not sure that it is. Come catch us around February 8th with Season 3. Big things to come.